Hey everybody, it's Gauntlet X, and welcome back to another episode of Gauntlet X drafts Nico Bolas every day. Except there's no Bolas here, so I am probably going to start pretty aggressive in this draft. We could take Flooded Strand as the most open pick all the fetch lands can pull out. Basically any Triome from your deck or any Shock land, so even off-color fetches tend to be useful. That's the most open pick here, but I have a bit of a headache going into this recording. It's been a long recording session for me, so I'm going to just do some head empty, just really simple, really basic decks here. And I'm just going to start with Glorybringer, which can fit fine into any mid-range or more controlling deck since it is a removal spell on a stick, but it is best positioned to be the top end for some aggro. See if we can't do a nice little mono red aggro deck today, get that out of the way. It's tradition at this point. We got to do it at least once per cube. And now would be the best time to rest my tiny brain. Alright, pack 1, pick 2. Great mono red aggro follow-up with Robber of the Rich, drawing extra cards out of your opponent's deck as long as you're attacking with this, and your opponent has more cards in hand than you, which will pretty consistently be the case when you are the more aggressive player, with more cheap spells in your hand to dump out. So, big fan of Robber. If we're just forcing aggro, that is where it's at today. Pick 3, Monastery Swiftspear is the most efficient threat here. Gets started really quickly, and when you're playing removal spells to clear a path, you're dealing extra damage with the Swiftspear. Could also take the Rekindling Phoenix as a hard-to-kill threat, but it's a little more replaceable 4-mana threats you don't want as many of as good 1-drops like the Swiftspear, so take the Swiftspear first here. Pick 4, there's an okay 1-drop with Rabbit Battery, but I've never been super impressed by this card. I'd rather just take a Stoke the Flames here. You can finish your opponent off with damage to face, or it can be a nice little removal spell. Pick 5, Goblin Bombardment towards Rakdos Sacrifice, or Showdown of the Scalds towards Boros aggro. We've already done a Boros deck. We haven't done a Rakdos aggro deck yet, so I'll take the Goblin Bombardment. We can do sack stuff. Can't keep doing this to me, man. I can't today. I can't. I'm not doing my 4th Bolas control deck basically in a row. I'm taking a break here. I'm sticking to mono red aggro stuff. The brain is in pain. Not really the brain, just the head in general. Now, Plarg here, Electrostatic Blast. They're both okay. Neither of them are great. I'll take the Blast. I guess we could take the Scrounger towards Rakdos because we can recast it from grave later. Pretty fine. I'm still going to go with Blast, though. Sticking mono red that way. Dragon Rage Channeler is a fantastic 1-drop for mono red. As we're casting our removal, we're surveilling, trying to get to Delirium to beat down. I'm not going to play big score on mono red, so I'll take Judith on the Rakdos speculation. If we don't get enough red spells, black is the backup secondary color. Probably something like a 10-7 split, like 10 red sources, 7 black sources. That level of red to black if we are playing Rakdos. At this point, we are very deep into red guaranteed, no matter what. None of these are good in aggro. I'll just take... I have no idea. Guess it doesn't matter, because none are good in aggro. Blood Crypt speculating towards Rakdos, or we can take Elder Dragon War to try to stick monocolor. I don't have a 4-drop threat yet. This is fine. It's a 4-mana 4/4 flyer. Not great, but I will take it. Now a Rabbit's Battery. Now a nice little aggressive black creature. Nothing. Well, that's the correct dual land to wheel. Kind of solid. Okay, let's take a look at the curve here. I've got a Braid, Blast, and Stoke for interaction. Lightning Bolt is so efficient that it might still be the pick, but I really like Goldspan Dragon at the top of the curve too. Neither of these cards are going to come back. They're both really excellent. I'll take Lightning Bolt over Goldspan, but it is very close. Now we have a Bloodthirsty Adversary, which is great because you can jam it out turn 2, get your damage in, or if you top deck it later, you cast it and recast a Lightning Bolt or something from grave. Tear the Peaks is a solid finisher too, but there's much more room for 2 drops, and this is a flexible one that's a solid finisher as well. Pick 3. Nahiri's Warcrafting looks fine. Godric is pretty great if you can play 2 permanents in one turn, which can be a little difficult. Take the Godric. Let's see if we can get there. No red cards here. What, Souls of the Lost for Rakdos? Probably not. I'll take Fabled Passage if we do play a second color. It'll fix in whatever deck we're in, whatever colors we're in. Pick 5 Magda, or Zealous Conscripts as a finisher, or Shatter Skull Smashing to replace a land. I'll go for the Magda. I like getting the treasures and dumping out your hand early. Magda also synergizes pretty well with Godric, triggering Celebration. So that's pretty nice. Strangle's a really efficient way to get a blocker out of the way. Decadent Dragon, we kind of need to be playing black for as well, but it is quite nice value if we are. I think I'm going to go Strangle over Decadent Dragon. Now light up the stage is very easily the pick. Get that draw 2. Gix is fine here if we end up at Rakdos. Lolth is fine too, but quite a lot of mana. Volcanic Spite here, or Tenacious Underdog. Our deck is going to be quite a bit better if we play black. My brain wants to play mono-colored, so I don't have to worry about any mana issues, but Underdog is a huge addition, and Underdog Judith is kind of wild. The Gix is great. Yeah, this Rakdos pile looks a lot better than just going mono-red. Even if the mana base will be worse. And I get to play a Valky, so if I randomly flood out to 7 mana, we have Tibalt, which is pretty crazy. Don't actually think this is that insane. I'm just going to take the big dragon. Okay, Oathsworn's pretty good. Menace is in, gets counters when it hits your opponent. Okay. Pack 3, pick 1. Each permanent in your starting deck is mana value 2 or less. To cut those 7 to get there, but I've got a lot of permanents that are cheap enough. Black-red Luris could be real fun. I'm gonna go for it. Whatever. Let's have a companion here. Black-red Luris. Rakdos Luris. So the only permanent with mana value 2 or less here is the Life of Toshiro Umezawa. Take that. It's not a super good one, though, and Town Razor Tyrant is a very good one for an aggressive deck. So I get to put Swarm Saboteur in if we're going Luris style. Yeah, I'd rather speculate on Town Razor if Luris doesn't make it. Okay, Kolagon's command fits into the deck whether or not we're playing Luris. It's excellent interaction. Young Pyromancer works with or without Luris, and it's one of the better cards in the pack. Take that. Get a Dragon Skull Summit, or actually Priest of Forgotten Gods for a sack deck is decent. I'm gonna get more fixing though, because we don't have a lot of... We've got a little bit now that we have Young Pyromancer, but we don't have a lot of token production for a sacrifice deck. Scavengers is the best card here by a lot. None of these permanents get to go into a Luris deck anyway, so... Scavengers if we don't play Luris. Knight of the Ebon Legion's a very solid aggro creature. Gets counters on itself, keeps getting beefed up. Also has a mana sink ability to buff itself up. Collective Defiance is great removal in aggro because you can kill something and shoot your opponent in the face. We don't want a board wipe like Brotherhood's End, so we'll take the reanimating spell of Gutter Bones. It looks like we are black-red Lurrus here. Really low curve. Aggressive little black and red creatures. We might have to cut Valky. This probably counts as 9 mana value for deck building purposes. Just a little sad we don't have to cut this Null Priest, though. War Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Gyruda. Last pick, very far from being our companion. Alright, well, 43 card deck, 42 when we put Lurrus in there. We are allowed to play Valky, let's go. It's pretty sweet. So we have a Lurrus, but we still have a 7-drop in here. If we flood out, that's pretty cute. 2 cuts. I mean, when this is our mana curve, it's probably just land, play 15 lands. Sure. Yeah, let's just call it a deck there and just go right into the gameplay. Right, a super keepable hand. Playing against Boros here with turn 2 Luminarch Aspirant. We gotta draw one of our removal spells, but we have a ton of interaction in this deck. It's gonna be a fast enough matchup. I should just Valky them, I think. Wow, the hand is all incredible creatures. If I don't hit the Duelist, then they just use the slash and kill the Valky, so... Duelist it is, I guess, which means they Evangelist into Jewel Mine Overseer. We are very far behind. They are on the play, and their hand is explosive. I don't hate the idea of just trading for Aspirant here. We are just taking way too much damage way too quick right now. I don't really think we have any route to victory here. Because I can 1-for-1 a Stoke the Flames into one of their creatures, trade Oathsworn into Evangelist, but then they just get another flyer anyway. Like, we're just so incredibly behind. Yeah, 1 mana Lightning Bolt. Yeah. It's all too expensive for adversary. Play a tapped Gutter Bones, take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage on board. They draw a Lightning Bolt, we're just dead. So gotta just play adversary as a blocker. Still gonna hold on to Null Priest. Because 1 land away from reanimating with that. Dead if I just don't trade on blocks here. Nah, I guess I can't trade for Thalia, though. Ooh, this is real bad. Well, what are you gonna do? Aggressive mirror match. They were on the play and just stopped hitting lands after 3, so it was all action to just keep that ball rolling there. Not much you can do about that one. I think we could have drawn into hands that would have competed, but not the one that we opened with there. We've got enough cheap interaction in the deck that just dealing with all their threats. Maybe we try to take over the late game, getting to Tybalt Manor or something, but we didn't have like any of our interaction there. 0-1 it is. A pretty unwinnable game for most decks. On the play here for game 2. Kind of want to go for a little bit of value greed with this evolved sleeper. Just play it and start evolving it. Oh. But now I have a Robber of the Rich, so that's an alternate way to start drawing cards. We'll draw them out of our opponent's deck. Wormcoil Engine. Trying to make it a 6 mana. Explore. Draw a card, play an extra land. From our opponent's Golgari deck. Captivating Crossroads on black. So I'll go battery here. See what we hit off of Robber and probably evolve the sleeper. Yep, Metamorphosis 3 mana. I guess I could Saboteur. Oh, down should player conjure a Virus Beetle to hand. I guess that's probably slightly better than evolving the sleeper. And then I just recast the battery anyway. Gix. They have a blocker. I swear to God, I drafted tons of removal. It doesn't feel like it though. I don't know where it is. I'll just send in the team again. It's their own Luris. Classic double Luris it up. Yeah, let's just cast a Luris. They would basically just be dead right now if we had our Lightning Bolt or our Strangle or our Abrade. Or any of those kind of cards. No, I can't block here. Haste or kill them? Block that, take 6? Yeah, it does. Alright. Still win in the end. Oh, the first level costs 1 mana. Probably could have done that sooner. Alright, 1-1 heading into game 3. There's a cheap removal spell. Got an Abrade this time. We are on the draw again, though. Makes our Robber pretty bad. Maybe not. Nothing to play with the Elvish Mystic here. If I drop Robber... Yeah, I still have more cards than them. Maybe I just Abrade the Mystic. No, I'll still go Robber. Just a hit for 2. Malcolm. Okay. So they poke with Malcolm, draw a card, discard a card. Cast Garuk, which kills Robber and flips into a death touching machine. Spits out a 1/1 death touch every turn. Garuk kind of destroys us. Yeah. No, I can't wait on the adversary. I have to just kill Garuk.
I'll try my luck elsewhere.
Dillion click? Sure. They didn't wait till I drew the card. But I've made the exact same mistake before. The way digital magic works. They didn't actually Vendilion click at the time everybody talks about it. It's in the draw step after the card has been drawn. So they ditched the Abrade. They're kind of out racing us in the sky here. I think I'd rather stoke the Flames Malcolm than the Click. It's one less power than Click, but its ability is really good, making sure that they draw well, and also once it has 4 counters, they just start casting spells for free every turn, which is insane. Down to 10. They're at 16 here. Taking 4 damage a turn. I don't feel like game is gonna last till 7 mana, but I'll still hold Valky for at least 1 more turn. If I don't top deck another land, then drop it. Well, we lose because we cast Evolved Sleeper instead of Valky. Because we could have exiled Coma from hand there. Yeah, this deck's not going to break through a Coma. Alright, I'm going to move on to the next game. I do not have the health and the energy to sit through a few more turns of this. I'd like to wrap this recording up as quickly as we can. Not that I'm going to concede games that we're winning or anything like that, but like I'm not going to play out games that we have less than a 1% chance of winning, and that Coma just dropped us down to a 1% chance or less. So game 4 it is on the play here, which is awesome. Magda to spit out treasures everywhere. Speed up the hand. An interesting draw. I guess I'd rather ninjutsu now then. And Magda here. Playing against some very multicolored rampy pile. We need to kill their mana. And then just start slamming down a bunch of virus beetles. Jacob Hawken. Card selection. You get to draw and discard every turn. It's a little looter. We need 3 damage for this. 4 damage to get the counters. Okay. Still think that's the 1-drop here. I'll play Magda. We do need the treasure. We've got a lot of mana worth of stuff to play. I mean, we've got 6 mana worth of virus beetles alone. Primal Might to fight off the Magda, so there goes mana ramp for us. I'm gonna play the Swift Spear pretty badly here to hit for 4 this turn to get a counter on the Knight. I don't want to play Priest. I've got pretty expendable stuff, but Virus Beetle's exciting too. They're down to 4 cards in hand, so none of those are going to be things they want to discard at this point. It might just be dead next turn off of Lightning Bolt plus Priest of Forgotten Gods. It's 5 damage right there, so we only need to be able to hit them with 5 worth of creatures. Probably should have played a Virus Beetle pre-combat, so if they do use instant speed removal, I sack whatever they target in a Virus Beetle for the Priest of Forgotten Gods. Okay, I think that's just a sure. Yeah, we might have missed lethal here. Well, no, it would still be the same damage. Because we do this and then we just do that post-combat. Yeah, it'd be 1 damage off either way. But it would have been better to sack the card that they were about to kill anyway. Or we're just retarding them, right? That's how this thing works? Sorry, I am getting more out of it the more this draft progresses. I thought I was gonna be okay to record, but my condition has worsened rapidly. Okay, 2 and 2. Yay. I am like fully booked up on the schedule. I gotta get this recorded for y'all, so I'm gonna keep it up. Hopefully lose game 3 pretty quick. lose a third round pretty quick, but I'm not gonna throw. If I gotta fight through and get a 7-win run, then I will. We are 2-2 heading into game 5. Okay, this might be the loss. Hopefully it's the loss. 2 tap lands to start with is rough, but also not really a mulligan because the hand is otherwise very good. And we're also on the draw. This deck is very, very much favored on the play. So there's a lot going wrong here. Maybe it'll all fall apart, hopefully. There's an untapped land to play turn 2, which also makes this an untapped land, so that was actually a really good draw, unfortunately. We want to start off with Magda. We do have the Saboteur Swift Spear thing again I could do, but judging by how last game went, if we can actually get any treasure out of Magda, this is a way better play. Okay, they're just going to hard counterspell her anyway. Drop battery, drop Swift Spear, attack both. If they spend any removal, we ninjutsu. They try to spend removal here. This is going to be backbreaking. Okay, they're just going to get a 1/1 shark. That works fine. We just get the trade and the flyer here. But if they tried to remove one of our creatures while it was still technically attacking, we get to ninjutsu it back to hand, the removal spell is blanked, and we still hit them. Well, that was a pretty good collective defiance. Ditch a bunch of lands. Draw a new hand. 4 mana here. This is going to be a sick Kolaghan's Command, good grief. Gotta keep that. Chandra's a yikes, but we can kill her pretty easily. Okay, getting rid of Stoke the Flames makes it harder, but I can still blast the Spellbinder, attack Chandra for 4, and then she can't kill anybody? Actually attack her for 5 because the Bombardment prowess trigger. Oh wow, well over 5 if the Channeler gets Delirium too. This game looks like a winning game, and I don't like that. Okay, well, 3-2. reverse things from a couple early losses. Now we're at least a 50-50 run with this deck, but I have to stop recording right now. I am getting incredibly out of it here. I'm now having major nausea. This is the worst headache I have had since I had COVID. I don't know what is going on, but my apologies for the quality of the commentary today. I'm sure it has been hindered by my condition, but yeah, we're gonna stop halfway here. I am gonna finish this draft. I'll just have to finish the recording some other time. I'll have to find a time to fit it in and edit it in. So for you all, I'll see you in 1 second, hopefully in a much better mood with much better health. So see you all for game number 6. All right, here we are on the play for game number 6. Super reasonable opener. It's not incredible because there's no really good aggressive follow-up to the Oath Swarm, but we have interaction. We've got a Goblin Bombardment as well, so anytime they removal spell one of our creatures, we're still getting damage out of them, which can be pretty good. This Priest looks a little awkward. Definitely need some more creatures to go along with that. But we'll keep it on the play here. Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's a pretty good draw here. So now I can be mana efficient turn 3, dropping a 1-drop and a 2-drop. And I do have enough cards for Priest. Not that I'd want to sack these two, but potentially. Pretty good start here. Our opponent's on mono black so far with Phyrexian Arena turn 3. If they don't have a Languish coming up here, they are going to be in a world of hurt. They need a cheap board wipe, or they're going to get really punished for not being able to impact the board this early, plus playing something that makes them lose some life. So let's see. I will keep a Rabbit's Battery, draw it off of the Light Up the Stage. Ooh, we get a Bloodthirsty Adversary. Pretty sick. So I can play Rabbit Battery and Goblin Bombardment. So even if they board wipe, we get to do a chunk of damage. We get to put a Gutterbones in Grave, which we can recast from Grave later. Yeah, this looks pretty great. I'm keeping the Bloodthirsty Adversary in exile, because if I hit a 5th land, I can play it and kick it for the 3 mana to also recast a Light Up the Stage when we cast that. Okay, they're at 12. They don't gain life till their turn, right? Yeah, I just lose life here. That's fine. I guess I could Stoke the Flames and sack Rabbit Battery to kill that, or I could Priest to kill that before it triggers. If I Priest to kill that, they're probably just dead, right? So I can just draw. It's cool if I lose some life. So Priest kills that and makes them lose 2 life. They go to 10. Oathsworn hits for 4. Stoke the Flames hits for 4. It's not quite lethal. It's still basically dead. I think I'm going to go for that here. Collective Defiance. Wait, I'm only 2 damage off lethal, right? Yeah, so this is lethal. Because of the double black the Priest gives, we've got enough mana, actually. Alright. Well, now we have a positive record no matter what. That is 6... No, 6? Jesus, I doubled our wins. We have like 4 wins and 2 losses heading into Game 7 now. Alright, here we are for Game 7 on the play. Really don't like not having a red source, but I do like these black creatures getting started off. I still think I gotta take a mulligan here, mana-wise. Yeah. Alright, much better mana. But we will be down a card this time. Everything's 1 or 2 mana, which is going to be the case often because of Luris, but that also means I think I can ditch a land here. Swift Spear turn 1 for immediate damage, Magda turn 2 to get more mana. I'm tempted to Oathsworn before Magda, because that gets bigger every time it hits them. This might be wrong, but yeah, I like Oathsworn actually. First here. Another mono black deck? So far. Infernal Grasp. Alright, kill the Oathsworn, take a couple damage. So if we played Magda, Magda would have died anyway. Blue-black, so probably pretty controlling. Thief of Sanity is the play. Don't really want to sack 2 of my creatures to kill that. But if I cast Goblin Bombardment, I can send in the Swift Spear. They would be pretty crazy to block here because of the prowess at instant speed, but they might. I'm not going to bet on my opponent not going crazy here. I don't know, I'm going to put Luris in hand instead. I'm kind of tempted to level this up too. You know what? Let's level this up. Put them to 10. 3 mana to start drawing cards. Alright, let's see if they can draw well out of our deck. Our deck is gonna be pretty good for them because it's mostly a bunch of really cheap creatures. So, like, just getting blockers is good. Brainstorm. Draw 3, put a couple cards back. And they have the Drowning Ichor for the sleeper. They are down to 10. Kolagon's Command's a huge draw. I actually have enough to play Bombardment and Kolagon's Command, which I think is again not quite lethal, but Prowess is close. Actually, Prowess is just lethal, right? I imagine so. We'll see. Because I get to sack both my creatures after all this resolves. Should be Exactsies. No, it's 1 damage off. That's so close. 1 damage off. Alright. Shieldred does not gain them any life. So I double ping them and then just play anything and they die. Because they're tapped out here. Just cast us a Valky. Alright, Young Pyro works too. And there's the concession from our opponent. We are now at a 5-win run, very positive record, and we're going to be leaving with all of our entry fee back, as well as some random rare rewards. Awesome place to be, but we'll see if we can't take it any farther as we head into game number 8. Alright, here we are on the play for game 8. Just get the battery going for instant damage, get that knight down as soon as our opponent's going to lose 4 life. Windswept Heath. Hey, 1 extra point of damage. Let's go. Shockland. Aw, Shockland tapped. Sadness on the stack. I might Valky them here so we can see exactly what they have going on. Not once have we gotten to the 7 mana for Tybalt anyway. Yeah, I'm interested. Alright, no board wipe. Yeah, no Wrath, just 4 mana removal and then Teferi Time Warp. Teferi into Time Warp is pretty nasty though. Alright. Well, we are definitely dumping everything we get onto the board as quickly as possible to try to kill them before they hit 5 mana or before they draw into a board wipe. Pfft, great. They had no plays till turn 4 in hand, and they top decked a 2-drop, which actually blocks pretty well here. Saboteur is pretty dang nuts. And Jitsu it out or just haste it with Rabbit Battery? I think I just haste it, right? It's a little harder this way. And all of their cards are valuable, so even just getting 1 copy of Iris Beetle is going to be good here. And if they don't convoke their pylon, then we're likely hitting them twice with the Saboteur. But the pylon does have convoke, so they can use their creature to tap for it, cast it this turn. Ooh, Lightning Bolt is pretty spiffy. So let's play a 2-mana creature. Let's play a 2-mana creature, equip a Rabbit Battery, and cast a Lightning Bolt. Seems legit. So let's go Pyro, Rabbit Battery, hold up Lightning Bolt. Now I get to attack with 2 of my creatures because of the Death Touch on the Saboteur. Weird choice, but okay. Oh, if they pile on the Young Pyro, that would make sense, yeah. If they're not killing Young Pyromancer right now, then like either blocks a chump block, so might as well chump block 1 more damage. Oh, no. I totally forgot about Saboteur's ability, too. It's so we don't get another Virus Beetle, also. Surveil 2, they milled a Kaya, put another card on top. Got 4 mana here. There's a Field of the Dead. There's an Esper Sentinel. A little annoying. Pretty sure I bolt the face here. You just need to kill them before Lyra pops off, and they do not have their 5th land, so if they don't top deck a land, they're just doomed. They have no good blocks here. They're at 8. Got no way to kill them, but I can Virus Beetle as the best play. I guess I can play Knight and put Lurrus in hand. That might be a little bit better. Wait, an Underdog with haste is kind of crazy too. Actually go Underdog with haste here. Maximum damage output. If they don't block that, if they block there, they go to 1 life if they don't block that, and I don't think they can afford to do that. I think they have to just chump here. Yep. Okay. Top deck a land or you are dead, opponent. They didn't top deck a land. I don't know what would happen if they did, actually, thinking of it. So they'd get probably their best play is Time Warp into Lyra now. So they have a 5-power first striker. So then we play a Virus Beetle, give that haste. Our biggest creature is 3 damage, so they stop that from hitting them. They gain 5. They're at 8. They take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They go to 1 life, so they barely survive. Unless we top deck a swamp, then I could play a knight, give the knight haste, and activate the knight, and then they'd be dead. So if they top decked a land and I top decked a swamp, we could kill them. Otherwise, they'd go to 1, blocking with Lyra. And they could probably stabilize from there. They go to 1 with a Lyra on board, then drop it to Fairy. Alright, well, way closer than it looked, but we do find our 6th victory. At 6-2 now, heading into a final battle with this deck. It's going to be the final round, win or lose. Alright, here we are for the final boss. Real bad mana here. We are going to have to mulligan. It's 3 red spells and only black sources. Okay, this is much better. Don't get to do anything turn 1, though. These are both tap lands. But if I play this first, then turn 2, I'll have 2 mana untapped at least. Light Up the Stage can make up for a little bit of lost card advantage here. Young Pyro can make an army. I'm actually going to get rid of Evolved Sleeper, because I'm not going to have an untapped source turn 1 anyway. So we play a tap land, then an untapped land into Pyromancer, and try to get an army off these 3 spells. It's a strat. Find a Strangle to clear a path. Playing against blue-white. They start with a Luminarch Aspirant. Alright. Probably will strangle that, but not till I have Young Pyro on board. So we will take the first hit from it. Not exactly what I expected when I saw blue-white from our opponent. Usually expect some control stuff, but there are a lot of great aggressive white cards like Luminarch Aspirant. Yeah, Aspirant into Skyclave Apparition. That's just an incredible aggressive start, and we are immediately pretty far behind here. How did I shuffle you back on top, friend? Alright, well, that's funny. I think I'm going to cast that here, because Kolaghan's Command being exactly 2 damage means Apparition's just a great target for that. Whereas Bolt can kill something bigger later, potentially. And killing the Apparition doesn't give us our Pyromancer back, it just gives us a 2-2 with no abilities. Blade Splicer. See, there's a 3-3 we can kill. But I can also kill it with a Kolaghan's Command, which is very cute too. Boop. Boop. I imagine they're a Flicker deck with the amount of, well, with 2 different Enter the Battlefield effects that we've seen so far. So it might be worth trading Sleeper into Splicer, but I am not gonna go for it. They do have Ephemerate, so it wouldn't have mattered. If I attacked, they would have blocked and then Ephemerated and soaked up the damage without losing the Splicer. Well, that's rough. That is an army. Pretty glad I didn't try to kill Blade Splicer, because they could have Ephemerated to save whatever I tried to kill with Kolaghan's Command. So that whole Kolaghan's Command just worked out pretty well for us in general. About as well as it can when your opponent has Ephemerate in hand. Could have been absolutely disastrous. Archangel Elspeth, yeah. That's terrible bad. If I don't get rid of this, they're going to start putting counters on their creatures and giving them flying. But the only way I get rid of this is by 2-for-1ing myself right now. I guess if I Collective Defiance here escalated for 4 to a creature and 3 to the Planeswalker, then... Wait. I can attack her, and also she'll be low enough loyalty they can't -2 and keep her around, so they might want to just plus again. And then I can kill her next turn with Lightning Bolt. Alright, cool. So they just plus to replace the 1/1 I just killed, and then I bolt her. They're holding up just a 1/1 to protect her. Might be able to kill her without bolt. Save that for something else. I do want to hit their face, though, for this light up the stage. Probably... If they have a flash creature, I think I'm comfortable with just dying to that. Of them playing a flash creature, then cracking back for 8. So Sleeper is threatening to just double evolve and become a 3/3 to kill Archangel Elspeth, so I think they have to block here, and we just spend 1 and kill the 1/1, and then still just bolt Elspeth. Okay, no flash creature here is surprising. Oh. Alright, yeah, I mean, we die. Not much we can do about that one. We can bolt the Elspeth or the 3/3. If I bolt the 3/3, they have 2 1/1s and a 4/4. They can make it all flying, basically. 4, 5, 6. That's exactly lethal, because the 2 +1/+1 counters in flying. If I bolt Elspeth, they crack back for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we kind of die either way. Archangel Avison's just really good here. Yep. All right. That is going to be 6 and 3. Never going to get a 7-win run this time around, but that's okay if we continue at this rate. It's been basically all 4 to 6 wins. Pretty consistently in the money here. So we'll take it. 5,000 gold, 3 cards, pretty nice stuff. Looking back on the deck for over and underperformers, the biggest underperformers pretty easily Luris, seeing as we never actually cast it. We never pulled it out of the companion slot, so the deck may have been better had we just not played Luris in the companion slot. Like, maybe that is the better deck that can get a 7-win run. Probably were some winnable losses there as well with perfect plays. That's always going to be a possibility. But deck building wise, Luris didn't actually help at all. We never cast Luris, so probably just hindered the deck by keeping everything low mana value to get Luris in the companion slot, where we could have run at least a couple higher mana value cards, you know, like one of Glorybringer, one of Town Razor Tyrant, something like that, and just have Luris in the main deck. Would have been just some kind of a slightly better build, maybe good enough to get us to that 7-win. But I'm still pretty happy with this deck, and on the plus side, having the Luris in the deck, forcing us to play nothing but 1 and 2 mana cards, really makes sure that our mana curve is incredibly low and incredibly aggressive, and that's the main way that we were winning basically every victory, is we were just doing a ton of stuff before our opponent could really resolve too many spells. So there were upsides and downsides to the Luris. Obviously, there was no upside in ever casting the Luris, but it made sure we were diligent in having an insanely low mana curve, which was helpful in a sense. So solid run here, but 6 and 3 it will be. 5,000 gold and 3 random rare rewards, 2 of which are mythics. That is super sweet. One of them is the limited time artwork of Ral. Did they make this a card style, or is this still how it used to be, where that was a limited time version of the card? I'm pretty sure that we just got an incredible hit off of the random rares, because those were like rewards for being in the beta format. Timeless. Yeah, We have 2 copies of this version of Ral now. You got 1 copy for being in the beta. But yeah, here's the regular one, 4 copies of that. That's not a card style, that is a full-on card itself. The fancy version of Ral, so that's a pretty sweet random reward there. And the double mythic is incredible too. Rahilda being a phenomenal alchemy card. I have drafted this a ton when she was in the Arena Cube. I don't think she's in there anymore, but maybe she is, I don't know. Basically just another, God, what is it called? The rogue thing, the Robin Hood card. That's a red and 1. Keep stealing cards from your opponent's deck when you attack with it. Those are both just great, cheap, aggressive red hasters that draw you cards from your opponent's deck. Anyways, those sweet rewards out of the way, that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this and you're interested in seeing more like it, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.